How do you ensure that students understand how sports systems work on ground and not just on paper or theoretically?
Learning things on paper is the very traditional way of doing it. And at ISST, we believe that anything that you do practically, or in today's time, we call it as experiential learning. We focus more on that. And how do we do it?
Hello everyone, my name is Aditi and today I'm here with Tanvi Ma'am. Firstly, apart from being a faculty, you also lead operations at ISST. How does this dual role influence the way that you teach?
When I look after operations, I am actually working with the current ISST team. I am working with the visiting faculties. I am working with the university. I am working with the students. I am also working with the industry people who provide us internships and placements. So when I work with all of them very closely, it gives me an understanding of what is the need or the requirement of the industry, and also what are the challenges that the students are facing. So with knowing all this, it becomes very easier for me that when I go to any of my class, I make sure that we make the students ready for the industry. At the same time, making them understand what the challenges that they are facing and how can we overcome those challenges. So I think with this dual role, it directly helps me to work on the student enhancement.
How do you ensure that students understand how sports systems work on ground and not just on paper or theoretically?
So learning things on paper is the very traditional way of doing it. And at ISST, we believe that anything that you do practically, or in today's time, we call it as experiential learning. We focus more on that. And how do we do it? By creating different submissions and events where students are given hands-on activities and events to do, which pushes them to work better on their skills to get it executed. So basically, whatever they learn on paper, we ensure that they can relate it directly to the practical aspects of doing it.
Can you share an example of an activity, assignment or situation where students actually manage instead of just studying management?
So a recent activity or a submission that they had to do was the Game On event, wherein the students were given 6 different sports to be managed at their end. And so there were students from the first year and the students doing MBA too. So all had a mix of students doing it. So some students haven't experienced managing events, while others have done a couple of internships and had prior experience of how to manage events. So such kind of submissions when we give, there is a lot of interaction that happens amongst the juniors and seniors. There is a lot of learning that happens on the field and not on the paper. And here is when students actually learn to experience and manage different things. So when they do it by themselves with the guidance from the ISST, and again there is no cap to how to do it. It is completely a student initiative which is driven, conceptualized and executed by students. So I think such kind of events really give them a lot of practicality of how to do things in real.
From your experience running operations, what are the most common misconceptions that students have about managing sports facilities or events?
Firstly, when the students come here, they feel the biggest misconception is that they feel sports management is event management. And with doing a couple of internships, they feel that they know how to manage events. But like I said, when we give them submissions like Game On, even the experienced students who do a lot of internships do get stuck at some point. Because here it is not about just doing it, but also about thinking, analyzing risks involved in the game. They are forced to think and strategically make things work. So that is the real challenge which we are wanting the students to face, so that they overcome those and actually know what the events are. So the biggest misconception is that they can do anything, but with the submissions like Game On, their misconceptions get cleared and they're actually readily doing everything in the right way.
If a student wants to work behind the scenes of sports, say in operations, events, administration, what skills should they start developing during college itself?
Multiple skills, I would say. The first one is communication, then there is coordination, then there is teamwork, which is massively important. And in today's digital age, I feel skills like content writing and editing, graphic designing are also very important skills which need to be upskilled during the course of the program they are here with ISST. So which will ensure that their skills have been improved and they're ready for anything that comes their way. So skill building is the most important thing that ISST focuses on.
And lastly, in one line, if you had to explain what the USP of ISST students is compared to any other students, what would that be?
Every student has different skills. And how do we know that every student has different skills? Because at ISST, every faculty will have a personal connect with the student. And only when you know students personally, you will be able to upskill them from their weaknesses. So I feel having this personal touch with every student, where being the visiting faculties or being every member of the ISST, we are able to do that. And I'm very glad and happy to share that we are doing it very successfully till date, and we want to keep doing this so far, because that is how any student at ISST will stand out differently when he goes into the industry.
Thank you, ma'am.